Welcome back to another video.
Yeah, as you may remember, we installed some outdoor speakers over the winter, and now that it's summertime and everything's green, we've decided to create the Pi Mote, which is a custom
Camera, video, and music controller.
Yes, and see, it allows you to flip through all your security camera live views from Blue Iris, and you can go down here
and from Kodi.
Yes, yeah, the bottom stuff is from Kodi. So you have basically a folder browsing thing and a playlist, and you can browse and you can
listen to songs or soundtracks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, whatever you want to listen to. Anyway, you can also expand the screen into a taller version. This is all XAML and C#. So I can go let's add all those folders and then go back to the playlist. Oops, I added that one twice. And play it. Let me delete the one that...
You see the X's next to the music mark?
Yeah, that's how you delete it from the playlist.
Yes.
So you got this playlist, and all that stuff's on Kodi, and this is just remote controlling Kodi. And you got the security view. There's another view. I kind of adjusted the exposure a little bit.
Well, we have one of these
All right, so why make this app? Because there's lots of apps that do music, UPnP apps. Why not use Media Monkey or something?
Yeah.
Or a phone. Well, if you're in the middle of the night and you want to wake up, you just one tap, the screen is dimmable, and you can immediately see a live stream of your security camera. If you wanted to do this on the phone, you'd have to find the phone. Oh yeah, there's the battery pack. I got to mount the battery pack on there. Portrait mode was a challenge. Yeah, I got to figure out a way to mount this thing on the back somehow.
And Dad put a wood block there.
Yeah, the Raspberry Pi case doesn't handle portrait mode very well, but I want less desk footprint, so I did portrait mode, which was a hassle. I'm also pulling the temperature like a Google query every couple of seconds.
You can dim it.
Yeah.
But you have to press 2 times.
Well, that's because I didn't set a variable. That's a little bug.
And look, there's Spider-Man.
Yeah. So here's the hardware on this project. Is just a Raspberry Pi. I got it working with Windows 10 IoT Core, whatever it's called, and then installed the 7-inch Raspberry Pi touchscreen, which is like a ribbon cable, and you see those 4 wires at the top.
Or like an iPad.
Yeah, it's kind of like a iPad,
but it doesn't have any games. It just has like songs that you can listen to.
Well, it's just it's just like an app rudder. This is the UI for Windows 10. It doesn't really do much, but it has a command line if you had a keyboard hooked up. It's a touchscreen, obviously. What are you doing? You can you deploy apps to it. There's the back. You see the four or 5 wires that provide power and I think touch or dimming or something. I had to hook that extra wire up. It's all on the internet. You hook it up and from that GPIO port, and then the software. Yeah, software.
CandXAML.
That's XAML, which is like Microsoft's way of doing the UI with C# on a UWP app or whatever. But it actually works pretty good. You're debugging in Visual Studio. And I debugged my Visual Studio. The XAML viewer didn't work, so it takes a couple seconds to get going there. I'll start it up here, and as you'll see, it'll crank up. While I was debugging, I did it.
If you press a button that hasn't been programmed, like if you press it, it will mess up and you have to restart it.
Oh. But anyways, you got full debugging capability, and like right here, see, okay, let's edit some XAML. So if I go in here and see that thing at the top of the screen, if I just start typing, you'll notice it changes dynamically. See, it just types some garbage in there. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of HTML-like, a lot better than Windows Forms.
It's not on Google.com.
What is it?
This.
Oh, this? I mean, no. This is a custom thing we wrote. If you just wanted to get the job done, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but this provides a lot of responsiveness, and so there I hit a breakpoint. So you can debug, pretty well interactively on the Pi. Yeah, let's type something and change the screen. The debugging experience, just having the Pi sitting there right by the PC with Visual Studio, is pretty painless for this kind of app anyway. Here's how it works. So I have a Raspberry Pi custom C# application.
What's next is the Blue Iris web server.
The Blue Iris website. It's actually pulling images from the Blue Iris website every 1.5 seconds.
But it's very slow when you swipe, and then it goes to Kodi if you play music.
Yeah.
And then next you go to.
Well, hang on. Yeah. Well, let me describe. Yeah.
And then you go to outdoor speakers and the equalizer that we showed in the last year video.
Yeah.
And then we go to Google Outside Tim.
Yes, yeah. So that's kind of how it works. We have Kodi we're interacting with it with a little JSON API that controls it. Now, this is the UI for Windows 10 IoT Core. So you hit the device :8080, and you can look at processor like a task manager kind of deal. You can run apps. You can do all these things that you would, I guess, sort of manage the PC remotely.
You can do anything that you want on it. Your Raspberry Pi.
Well, I can't, start my car. Well, maybe I could. I don't know. But yeah, see here, I'm going to start an app up. Let's click there. Start my little Hello World app. You notice there, I don't know if you can tell, but it's in landscape mode, which is sideways. It's sideways. Then I run my thing, and it's in portrait mode because somewhere in this menu there was a portrait mode switch, but it didn't actually work, which was very annoying. So here I'm controlling Kodi. So I just started a song, and it's just remote controlling Kodi here on this PC. So I guess if we go back to our diagram, one little piece we left out between the Kodi and the other thing, there's actually a Windows there's a Windows 10 PC here, and what I'm going to do next is upgrade that to a Raspberry Pi. I had this old Raspberry Pi, which was like a Raspberry Pi 2 with 512.
You just put it in your computer, and then a cat shows up, or you do commands, and it says meow.
Well, yeah, but anyway, this thing is so old, it was just slow. I have so many MP3s, so I'm going to upgrade that to a Raspberry Pi 3 and just set it there on top of the stereo receiver so it works a little bit better. And it works with the old Raspberry Pi. It's just browsing the folders is really slow, so I'm going to upgrade that guy. So that's really about it. One thing that was really annoying during this process, so I have to stop on a little Microsoft rant here. That's the portrait mode. They did not make it easy. Microsoft pulls you out on the ledge and then boom.
Dear God, this parachute is a knapsack.
This parachute's a knapsack.
Yes. So portrait mode on the Windows IoT Core did not work well. It says it works, it doesn't work. So I ended up using a XAML transform, and the people on the forums just want to have you rewrite drivers or something, but you can solve it with a simple XAML transform. And so what's next for this? I got the battery pack. I'm going to probably add more functions to it. I have a lot of stuff hard-coded. I need to put in a config file. I need to have be able to browse a Kodi playlist. Probably I'll use a stream. It's actually just pulling JPEGs on the Blue Lives.
Excuse me.
What?
So see you next time for another video. Dad, keep on going.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I may put this on GitHub eventually. I just got to clean it up. I was just make sure I don't have any copyrighted button images and things before I throw it out there. But that's it. Goodbye.